Hello there, and welcome back to Dr. Robotnik's Ring Races. Last time, I competed in the Wing Cup and unlocked two new characters, Aegis and Sakura Shinguji, as well as the GP I'll be racing in today, the Mega Cup. A commenter mentioned that this is basically a discount Super Mario Kart Cup, and seeing as I don't much like that game and especially disliked Kart Crew's attempts to replicate some of its tracks in SRB2K, I was hoping they were exaggerating. Unfortunately, they were not. 5 simplistic, boring tracks with little in the way of exciting level design and unique gimmicks is not my idea of a fun time. The only real mercy was the cup was very short, taking only 15 minutes to complete where most cups take close to 30. So strap in, this won't take very long. Mega Green Hill is a somehow even more condensed version of Mario Circuit 2, because while they've kept the jump over the earlier portions of the track, the entire starting area has been simplified. There are a few motorbugs driving back and forth, probably in an attempt to spice things up, but other than the one time I got comboed into one, they're usually really easy to avoid. My first few laps were pretty poor, but as I came to understand the course better and the competition fought amongst themselves, I was ultimately able to take the lead and keep it going until the end of the race. Mega Green Hill was a poor man's Mario Circuit 2, but at least it could boast even the slightest bit of creativity with the new theming and mildly reimagined opening section. Mega Bridge is just Donut Plains 3. Straight up. Looks the same, plays the same. You take a few corners differently to take advantage of the sneaker panels, but if you've ever raced on Donut Plains 3 in any of the 5 Mario Kart games it's appeared in, this will feel very familiar. Once again, the condensed nature of the race meant that the AI were taking each other out long before they could really offer a compelling challenge to me, and after I was able to take advantage of a sneaker to cross a tripwire, the race was already won. Even collecting the spray can was simply a case of driving somewhat quickly over a ramp in the middle of the road. Mega Emerald beads. And to answer your question now, yes, every single course in this GP has the Mega prefix. Nearly had something happen on it. After driving a tiny bit too close to a proximity mine, I nearly blew myself up. I didn't, in the end, but there was the momentary glimpse of something resembling tension or excitement, and that's better than most of these courses could offer. You need to lob your Gatsa bombs to hit a lot of the prisons here, and that wasn't working so well for some reason, but I did ultimately manage to destroy all 9 prisons with a fair bit of time to spare. Mega Lava Reef is strange. There's a lot of lava and you immediately assume it's not a good idea to drive over it. It is lava after all, but it's actually not that bad. It does drain your rings, but only at about a rate of 1 per second, and it didn't seem to have the friction effect that most off-road does. In any case, this was the closest I got to losing, because after I looked down from the race and realised I dropped from 3rd to 7th without really realising it, I needed to make up some distance to get into 4th. Luckily, the remaining AI were busy sabotaging each other, so I was able to swoop in from behind and just barely beat out Caterkiller to finish in good standing. There was just 11 centiseconds between us, and I used up all of my rings to achieve that, and it was still only 4th, but it didn't really matter in the end. I still managed to keep hold of my overall lead, and as a good score would only lead to me repeating a Shield Star I'd already conquered, I wasn't so worried about entering one this time. Mega Ice Cap scared me because it looked like it was going to be a reimagining of Vanilla Lake. That course sucks. And considering Kart Crew's attempt to remake it in SRB2K ended up creating the single worst track in that game, I wasn't looking forward to what I might experience. Luckily, it was nowhere near as bad as those, and hey, even if it was, I probably still would have won in the end. Why? Well, for one reason or another, the AI were entirely unable to understand this track, and so after I left them in the dust by swerving around the giant ice wall at the start, their impact on the race was limited to occasionally hitting me with items only to not end up overtaken, or overtaken right before beelining into the lake and respawning. I don't know whether it was the ice physics, or maybe the openness of the track, but keep one eye on the minimap during this race, and watch the AI have a breakdown. Mega Labyrinth really twisted the knife in its final moments. I was making good time through most of the arena, having destroyed all but 2 of the prisons. As I made my way towards them, I lobbed a Gatsa bomb and destroyed the one on the leads, and it dropped a CD, which I couldn't then access to collect. Feels like that's not really something that should be able to happen, but gotta move on. But it was with the final prison that really ground my gears. I missed my first shot, The second one didn't lob, then as I lined up to aim again, a rumbling occurred and rose the water level. That affected the lob trajectory, so I missed my next 2 shots. Then, right as I collected some more Gatsa bombs, the timer ran out, and the final one I had blindly thrown out missed the prison by a hair. Mega Scrap Brain is easily the most interesting race in the Mega Cup, and that starts with the mass suicide attempt at the beginning of each race. The AI aren't able to understand that they need to spin dash over this gap, and so throw themselves into the void like a colony of lemmings. I just assumed that they knew something I didn't, and so followed them, leading to an awkward situation where no racer was left alive to begin the race and allow everyone else to respawn, causing the game to take a few moments to figure out what to do. Once the race actually began though, I crushed the competition. I avoided all of the crosses, took the correct path 80% of the time, and didn't throw myself into the pits again. That immediately put me ahead of most of the AI, and after I eventually got lucky and managed to get a garden top in the perfect place to immediately discard it to take a shortcut, there was nothing the AI could really do to keep up. That performance confirmed my victory in the Mega Cup, and a slate of mostly victories with high ring bonuses was ultimately enough to get me into the Sealed Star. Unfortunately, the one found in the Mega Cup is spikes, which, unlike Venice in the previous episode, is really annoying. As the name suggests, there are spikes everywhere, and even if you can avoid them, they'll end up breaking your projectiles before they can reach the emerald. So, you need to make sure you stay fast enough to hit the emerald at point blank range, but you can't get too close, or else you'll cause the emerald to hit you and make you tumble, which annoyingly repeatedly happened right before big jumps you need a lot of speed to cross. I did collect the emerald in the end, but it took a lot of retries, making it kind of a pointless endeavour. My bonuses were mostly pretty strong, but because of the amount of restarts needed to collect the Chaos Emerald, I had a major continue penalty, which caused me to fall down to a B rank. It was a pretty anticlimactic way to end a short, uninteresting cup, especially because I didn't even get much out of it. One spray cam from Mega Bridge, and a CD from Mega Emerald Coast, and that was that. Not even the next cup, because I'd already unlocked it ages ago, so the whole thing really did feel like a waste of time. I plan on doing a cup ranking upon completion of this playthrough, and spoiler alert, unless another cup ends up being even more boring, it's not looking good for the Mega Cup. Regardless of my thoughts on the experience, I hope at least you enjoyed the video, and so.